I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. Greening. Thank you very much. Mr. Greening, first of all, let me thank you for your service. We appreciate all that you've done for us, not only as a teacher, but over the years and in your service. But I'd also like to introduce to you members of our cadet leadership class. We have Tomas Wade.
It's a tough
All right, there. Sorry about that. Tristan Fadley. All right, and Xander Hayden. All right, they have been doing this from time to time. Actually, the Virginia Education Association had their annual convention in Abingdon last week. They presented colors there as well. They did it in front of the entire gymnasium at a battle basketball game and maybe some other places along the way too. But I've been down there and saw some of the things that's taking place in the class, and we're heading in the right direction. Thank you very much. Anything that you'd like to add?
Let me apologize for a second. I thought we were doing the anthem too. Last week we stayed for the anthem and we started marching off too early. And they came back into the pledge. Another person I'd like to show some appreciation is Officer Figueroa. He's been a great mentor. You know, I served in the National Guard, did a tour deployment, but he was 20 years in the military, and he's been a great mentor to me and allowing this program to flourish. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you. All right. As we observe our moment of silence, we honor what words cannot express. We can reflect and remember. So if you would so willingly join us for our moment of silence. Thank you. Board members, item number 1.05, approved meeting agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second, Mr. Wilson, Mr. Henderson, do I have any discussion? If not, all of those voting, raise your right hand. Madam Clerk, we have that recognized. Special recognition, you'll turn that over to Dr. Perrigan.
Madam Chair, members of the board, one of the goals that this board set actually last year and carried over into this year is that our school division be the very best in the entire Commonwealth of Virginia. Over the last few months, we've been bringing some students in to show just how we are meeting that goal, and we have more students tonight to share, and we want to celebrate in their successes too. So we will start out, if I could get Eli Gillum to come up here with me. I told him I was going to have a theme song playing, you know, his walk-in music. Enter Sandman, because he's a big Virginia Tech fan. No, actually, I think Rocky Top is the way. That's right. Rocky Top is where Eli goes. But so Eli is on the boys basketball team at Abingdon High School, and in just 23 seconds during a ball game against Wise Central this school year, Eli scored 7 points, had 3 rebounds and 2 steals in just 23 seconds. He's so fast, I think his new nickname ought to be Microwave. But Eli, we wanted to say congratulations to you. Thank you very much. We appreciate it, and great job on a great basketball season.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There you go. Eli, would you mind to come up and have your picture made with our school board?
Oh,
Mr. Gray says you're going to make a speech. You may want to thank.
I want to thank you for everybody showing up here. Thank you for all you've done this year. And thank you for everybody that's on watching.
All right. Eli, come on right up here and we'll have your picture made. You right up, stand up here in front of Miss Anderson. You can take your award with you. You want your coach to stand with you?
Yeah, Coach.
Come on, coach.
How did you squeeze in right there?
After that performance, I think Eli told coach he expected more playing time.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Congratulations, Eli. I will tell you, Eli, as you can see, is not very shy. He also lets me, if I get a snow call wrong, he's the first to let me know. I'll assure you. The next person we're going to recognize, actually, this is back-to-back months that she's been here with us, but AJ Trivet has recently been named, come on up, AJ, has recently been named the Class 3 Girls State Player of the Year for the entire Commonwealth of Virginia. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. There you go. Thank you very much for that. I think you're supposed to be here with us. We'd like to have your picture made as well.
Right on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you very much.
We'll see. We'll probably be back next month too. So, she's had a great couple of seasons at Abbey High School. We also have finished up recently the indoor track season, and we had 3 of our students. I'd like to have them come up: Tyler Barrett, Josie Jackson, and Tyler Stanley. You guys come on up. They all won state championships in indoor track. Tyler won the shot put. He was the Class 1 state champion. Josie won the 1,000 meter and the 1,600 meter Class 3 state championship. And Tyler won the long jump Class 3 state championship. So congratulations to each of you. Tyler, congratulations. Thank you. You guys come right up. We'll have a picture made. I'll tell you a little bit. So Tyler had another big throw this past weekend at the Judy Thomas Invitational. Josie beat the Abingdon High School 1,600 meter record at Appy State this weekend, where she signed to go to college next year. So that was doubly cool for her. And then Tyler has just set the outdoor Abingdon High School long jump record, 23 feet. 10 inches, beating one that was set by Gary Hammer back in 1980. One other thing is Tyler beat my son's indoor record last year as a sophomore, 22 feet something in indoor track last year. So he's just a junior, so has a ways to go. So all 3 of these student athletes are superior. They've done a great job, and we look forward to bright things in the future.
And maybe Coach Burke can correct me if I'm wrong, but did Tyler's throw not win every classification? Was there any in AA, AAA, or 6A that was better than his?
6A.
6A was better. But 5 out of 6, he threw further.
Okay, so while we're correcting records, I think Josie's mile time this past weekend was the fastest in all of Southwest Virginia.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't just that. So.
Tyler, and the other
And
Tyler,
look, yeah.
in 1980,
Yeah.
that's when Mr. Johnson and I were on the track team.
Y'all right. Coach Burke, you guys come on up here. You two coaches, both you coaches, come on up.
But Brent, I'm correct about the fastest girls mile time, right? I think. Yes, it is.
Wow.
Go Josie.
Thank you.
And also just to add a little bit more context, you all know I'm a stats person and all that, but all 3 of these people, these awesome athletes, were in the top 50 of the United States in their events this year. So that's not just a Virginia thing, that's like top 50 nationwide. And I just want to point out these 3, I have been really lucky. Tyler Barrett was a 7th grader at Glade Spring Middle School that I got to teach, and he was a kid this big, and he could jump up and touch the rim in 7th grade. So I knew how much of an athlete that kid was going to be, and obviously it came to be true, and now he's just a great young man. These other 2, obviously, I could go on and on about, but I won't. all three of these kids are exceptional athletes for sure.
If y'all will join them for the picture there. And just to make sure that Josie smiles for this, for Josie's birthday this year, we gave the whole school division a 2-hour delay.
Yeah. All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. But we're not just the best in the state, excuse me, in athletics. We also have some all-state individuals in some speech events. So if I can get Grayson Pruitt and Will Duncan to come forward. So come on up, guys. So, yep. Good to see you guys tonight. Good to see you. So recently we had these two gentlemen who participated in the state competition in extemporaneous speech and impromptu speech. Will Duncan placed third, so he was an all-state. He was a bronze medalist at state in impromptu speech. And Grayson Pruitt won the state championship in extemporaneous speech. So congratulations to both of these young men. Being an impromptu speaker, none of you will be surprised that Will Duncan is Tim Duncan's son. I'm sure.
True. Fair.
All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Proud of you.
Okay. Thank you. 3.01, Dr. Perigin, our school board representatives.
Ms. Anderson, before we go to 3.01, the presentations discussion, we moved that one up. Just wanted, before these students leave, to see if the board members had any comments, if that's okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Because I know that they would love to stay and watch all these presentations we have prepared, but I bet they've got homework tonight.
Well, certainly just to everyone, whether it's academia, whether it's sports, whether it's just dealing with everyday life, we are so proud of all the athletes. And Coach Burke whispered in my ear as he was leaving, I'll add to Tyler's to try to trump you, Ms. Nichols, and his throw was the best in Southwest Virginia as well. Is that correct? Ever.
And
So,
her mom's up ever.
yeah. So you had to add ever to it.
I had to. Ever.
So we're talking about ultimate types of situations here. Obviously, they're class kids. You can just tell by the way they smile, the way they handle themselves. All the students who came up here today are not just a great person or reflection of their athletic or other abilities, but they're also a reflection of what type of young people they are. And that's what we really pride ourselves on in Washington County, developing the all-around kid, having that type of people to represent us. And truly tonight was just another superior performance by all these individuals, and we're very proud to recognize them. So thank you.
I'd like to say congratulations to each and every one of you, not only a reflection on yourselves, but it's also a reflection on your parents, how they've taught you to strive and achieve and push yourself when you need to do that. I'd like to congratulate each and every one of you, and also congratulate your parents because they've put a lot of time in, taking you back and forth, filming you and everything else. And I'd like to thank the coaches for all you do as well. Thank you, guys.
And I want to congratulate each of you. I'm so extremely proud of your accomplishments. The thing that I find most inspiring is just the hard work and determination and consistency that it takes to perform at such a high level. And I am so proud to sit on a board of a school division where there are so many opportunities for our student, whether it be through the arts or performing arts or athletics, that we have so many different ways for students to be involved. And I know that just as Dr. Brandon mentioned, like it really does help create a well-rounded individual. But thank you so much for just your intention and energy and showing up for your extracurricular and co-curricular activities. And thank you so much for all the administrators and coaches and parents and everybody, teachers, everybody that's involved in making our school division as successful as it is. Thank you.
Dr. Franklin.
again, to echo my fellow board members, congratulations, and the skills that you learned, the discipline that you learned to be able to have a good academic career, but also do these extracurriculars at a high level, just shows your level of dedication and discipline, and all those things apply to all those things in your life. Like, you're going to go to college, App State and other places, and that discipline will serve you well in those arenas as well. So again, congratulations.
When you're the fifth one to speak, there's not much more you can add to that. So just congratulations to all of you.
I'd also like to say congratulations, from the basketball to track to the extemporaneous impromptu speeches. That's hard to speak in front of people too, and y'all play and perform in front of people as well, to get out and do things, and the way you all represent our county. I can't thank you enough.
I'd like to ask if you're a parent or a coach of these young people, would you please stand so that we can recognize your dedication of what you've done. All right? Thank you. Thank you again for coming. We truly appreciate you being here. It's probably warmer in here than it is on some of those track meets, right?
Y'all are all welcome to stay, but don't feel obliged. Just saying, y'all are free to go. Except for Coach Burke, he has to stay. Thank y'all for coming.
Nice to meet you.
Ms. Anderson, moving on to 3.01.
3.01, communities in schools. I'll let you introduce them.
So we actually it is March full court support. Miss Smith has a class that she has to go to.
So we're switching.
Starting up with Miss Smith.
All right.
Miss Smith, come on up and tell us about full court support.
Okay.
And introduce yourself. I don't know if you've been before this board since we've hired you.
I have one time. I'm Tracy Smith, coordinator of student support. I just want to say thank you for inviting me to share about full court support. This was something that started in a conversation between Dr. Perrigan and myself about how can we be creative and how we support our staff across the division. And so we thought, February and March are really hard. If you've ever worked in a school, those are hard months. The weather's still kind of blah, and the time hasn't changed, and you're in that stretch between winter break and spring break, and it's just tough. And so we wanted to be really intentional with picking that time. So we chose March, and we went with the March Madness basketball theme, full court support. And so the way that it worked is we took all of our leadership staff here at Central Services and we split up into 4 teams, and each team had an attendance zone. And for the month of March, each team really took ownership over that attendance zone, reached out to administrators and asked them, how can we best support you and serve you? Our administrators were great, and we know that it's a task in and of itself to think through, what do we need help with and how can we coordinate this? And so they were quick to respond, sent us some great ideas, and so those teams got to work. We did everything from sweeping floors to car rider duty to cafeteria duty, and you name it, we were helping and being hands-on. And I want to share my own personal experience with it, and then after that, Ashley Hope put together a great video that will give you just a glimpse into what we did day to day through March. So my team had the John Battle Zone, and we reached out to all of those schools and had some great response, and we got to do different things in each of them. But one thing that I volunteered for with Paula Nichols was at Valley Institute, and that was the Bulldog Bucks store. And I don't know if you all have heard about that, but it is really cool. And so what that is the students get to earn what they call a Bulldog Buck. If they do something kind, or even if they, bring their homework the next day, just something that's positive, and it's a way to give positive recognition to the students there. So they earn these Bulldog Bucks the whole quarter, and then at the end of the quarter, there's a store that they open, and it's full of things like candy and toys and everything from like a small piece of candy to a soccer ball or a basketball. And the students get to bring their Bulldog Bucks that they've earned, and they get to go shopping. And so Paula and I got to pretty much run the store that day, and we got to have face-to-face time with every student in that school and almost every teacher, because each class came through and we got to help the students, pick out what they wanted. Some were really anxious to spend that money. Others were saving it up. So that was fun to see who our spenders and savers are. But we got to spend that day with those kids, and that was something that otherwise we would have probably never had the opportunity to do or even known to do. So, yes, this was a service to our schools, but I think it was just as much a service to us as staff here. We're in and out of our school buildings a lot for meetings and check-ins, but it's rare that we get to spend that intentional, purposeful time just serving and spending time with our students. And so I really enjoyed it. I know that everyone else did. And we hope that we can continue this year to year and maybe even expand it into some different ideas throughout the year. So once again, thank you all. And I'm going to turn it over to Ashley, and she has a great little video for you.
I even wore the hairnet. Ms. Smith, thank you for organizing that. The feedback that we had from several of the folks here on our team was truly that the idea was to serve schools and staff in our schools, but really the takeaway for many folks on our team was much better for us than it was for them. So I do think it's something we're going to continue to move. Any questions for Ms. Smith before she needs to head out to her class?
Comments for board members?
I'm just really grateful that you did that, and plus I think it's really wonderful for Central Services to go back inside school buildings for, even if it is volunteering for an hour, just because I'm sure you guys miss it every once in a while, right? And so I just think that, it's great for the kids to get to know you guys individually too. And then also I know that for the bus duty one, I even had teachers texting me thanking that it was so nice for them to not be relieved of bus duty. So I know that there was a lot of gratitude for what they did.
You did a good job serving lunch.
There's not many things in this world I'm good at, but food's one of them.
But the hairnet was a good one. Okay. Thank you. Any others?
I just want to say, I am excited about your position, Ms. Smith, and everything that you're doing, and just seeing you branch out and get to do other things. So I'm excited you're here.
Great job getting everybody involved.
Okay, Dr. Perrigan, if you would like to introduce our communities in school presentation.
Absolutely. As the board knows, we've had a great partnership for a few years now with communities in schools. As a matter of fact, many of the folks in our schools don't remember how they got the job done without them. And so we wanted to share with the board about all the things that communities in schools is doing as part of our partnership. So Chase, I'll have you come up and you can introduce your team. This is Chase Stewart. He's the Executive Director for Communities in Schools, Southwest Virginia.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. Dr. Perrigan, thank you for having us. Unlike Dr. Perrigan, I do not have to wear a hairnet, so I do have that advantage. But before we jump into the PowerPoint, we have a real simple PowerPoint, a video we want to share with you all. But I do have a couple team members I want to share. Aaron Terry, if you'll stand up real fast. Aaron is our newest team member, been with us a couple weeks. He's a regional director of programming community schools for Washington County. So he's in the process of kind of taking over and supporting the team here. And then we have Kirsten, who's our lead student support coordinator, which many of you probably know. Kirsten's been with us almost as long as me. But Kirsten, they're both going to come up and share a little bit of the information. So We'll go ahead and get started. As Dr. Pearson said, I'm Chase. I do have the privilege of leading communities and schools of Southwest Virginia, now Appalachian Highlands. I still say it all the time. That was a previous name of ours, but was changed when we kind of expanded to serve 2 states, Southwest Virginia or Virginia and Tennessee. Whoever's doing the clicker, thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
I was going to say next slide, but I can do it myself. A little bit about us as an organization. We are currently serving 78 schools across 13 school divisions in 2 states. You can see the Virginia school divisions listed, Tennessee school divisions listed, but the one we're here to talk about tonight is Washington County, Virginia schools. And we're really excited of the growth that we've experienced here. We have a coordinator in every school, and as you all know, you do this every day, Washington County is our largest school district in Southwest Virginia, so it was a big feat and something that we're very proud of. Communities and Schools of Appalachian Highlands is a federated network. So if you think of like Boys and Girls Club, United Way, we have a national office that's in Northern Virginia, and we have independent affiliates like CIS of Appalachian Highlands that operate independently but follow a framework or a model to implement services and supports. We are governed by a board of directors, which we are fortunate to have Jenny a member of that, and our other volunteers that help lead the organization. Our work really centers around building relationships. And we build relationships with students, with parents, with school members, with school systems to increase graduation rates and decrease dropout rates. That's the entire purpose of Communities in Schools of Appalachian Highlands. A little bit about current projections. As you can see, the growth throughout the years for us as an organization. We'll get into Washington County specific numbers after the video. But our current school year, we are anticipating case managing 3,800 students. So that's 3,800 students. We are supporting right around 28,000 students. If you look at students, whole school numbers are all 90% of students in a school district, but 3,800 of those are receiving individualized supports. And the growth has been pretty crazy since 2018-19, which happened to be the year that I started. It really is not representative of me. It's representative of the team, but we have been very fortunate to build relationships and really have some impactful work across our region. So we've got a little video I want to share. Now, fingers crossed that this works. So how do I make it work from here? Oh, do I just move it? Like,
You try.
wow.
Is that okay? Can I click on it?
Let's try. Yeah, I don't know how to click.
Strong students grow to build strong families, and strong families build strong communities. And communities and schools pulling together with us and working together, it certainly will help our community break generational issues that we experience.
Community Schools of Appalachian Highlands is a wonderful organization that I feel bridges the gaps in a school system between parents, administration, staff, and students. We are the students advocate, we are the families advocate for a lot of these things.
But we can't get students to learn without acknowledging the whole child. And so things like mental health and their emotional well-being, attendance, behavior, all of those things impact whether our students are going to achieve or not.
I feel one of the biggest challenges in the Appalachian Highlands region is a lot of generational issues, and that may be poverty, that may be trauma, access to resources. And so in the Appalachian region, we see a lot of poverty. And typically that's because that child's coming from a home where their parents didn't have a lot of access to resources, so they struggle with poverty, and then their parents did as well, and that trickles essentially down to our students.
I feel like the organization does so much for the students and the schools in our region. It's bringing the community into the school to support the students, support the teachers, support the administration.
They bridge the gap between the school and the communities, and it's all of the communities in our division, not just one. Communities and Schools of Appalachian Highlands, they're here for all of our students, not just the select few.
We have a lot of folks within our school that are willing to help, but they also have additional responsibilities that can sometimes minimize their help with families. So CIS allows us to have another set of hands that can say, let me go to the family and provide those resources, rather than maybe a teacher trying to go above and beyond in some areas. CIS does that with us.
I think often we see children who just lack that support at home, that engagement with their family, and I see the site coordinators being able to provide that role, being a cheerleader, also being a mentor, and just connecting that child with things that they need.
We have student support coordinators who show up day in and day out to meet the needs and the challenges of our students, of our families. They don't shy away from the hard things and the hard truths that our students are going through. And ultimately, they are the ones that are in those buildings, building relationships every day, one-on-one with their students, leading to transformational change.
It's about being an advocate for families and students so that we can keep them on the right track, know that somebody is there in their corner so that they can become something and not stay in the cycle that most kids see on a daily basis.
The things that I've seen really truly emphasize the community part of the communities in schools, which I think is pretty amazing to see.
Communities and Schools of Appalachian Highlands really showcases the value relationships in our school systems and our community.
Communities and Schools of Appalachian Highlands is just like a region. We're resilient, we're strong, we come together, and as a community, we figure out solutions.
The biggest difference that Communities and Schools has made at our school is that one-on-one connection that they have with our students, and that allows us to have with those students and their families. The support systems that are needed, I think our Communities and Schools coordinator is like the nucleus that provides us to be able to get those support systems for not only for the students, but for the families as well.
My favorite thing is kids beginning to realize their potential and to have hope. And not even just the students, when their families begin to have hope and you really begin to see success and change, that is my favorite part.
What stood out to me over the years is just the strong family connections that we've been able to make. We have been able to reach families that we, in years past, may not have been aware that there was a need. Families are comfortable talking to us and asking us for support.
I know that I'm making a difference in the lives of families and teachers, and to see the joy. So I go home every day joyful, knowing that an impact has been made, a difference has been made in somebody's life.
I knew that this is what I needed to be doing is when I helped a senior graduate last year. She was struggling really bad. She was behind on 10 credits, and we made a plan, and she got to walk across the stage. She cried when I told her, you did this. We set this plan, and you achieved it.
You know when you're making an impact on a student just by the verbal confirmation that they give to you. For example, I have a student I started working with 2 years ago. He felt as if everyone gave up on him. And I told him from day one that I started working with him, I'm not going to give up on him. The other day, he got to take his senior formal pictures, and he has not missed a day of school where before he was chronically absent. And he is going to get to graduate this year. And while he was taking his formal pictures, he looked at me and he said, "You never gave up on me."
I'm so privileged to be the person I needed as a child, and to know that I can come in every single day. I can be that safe haven for a student. I can keep their secrets to a degree. I can make their day a little lighter, whether that be if they come from somewhere that's a little more difficult or not. School can feel safe for them. They can feel like they belong no matter who they are, no matter what they do. They have somebody in their corner. And so it's changed me forever in the way of I know I have the ability to support another human being and make them feel like they belong in the world. And that is the greatest gift ever.
I feel like that video is kind of hard to go after, so I'm going to do my best. Next slide, then maybe it'll let me take over from there. I feel like it's trying. There we go. So, as you all know, these are just a list of the schools that we're currently serving in Washington County. 4 high schools, 4 middle schools, 7 elementary schools. That's all the schools in Washington County. A little bit about the numbers. So, broken down throughout the school years from 2021 through current school year, the numbers are, we are case managing around 763 students. And when I say case management, a lot of people understand that, but the way we look at that is working one-on-one with a student, with the parent's consent, kind of working one-on-one with students, setting goals around attendance, behaviors, course performance, and or social emotional learning, and really providing whatever supports they need to remove barriers and make sure that they are making progress or being successful in school. So for this school year, like I said, 763 students. A little bit about building community schools. There's 4 kind of key pillars with around community schools, and Virginia is kind of a supporter of that and an advocate of that. And we've been fortunate here in Washington County to kind of partner on some grants around building community schools. But these are just the 4 pillars. Integrated student supports, which is really closely aligned with what CIS does. That's aligned within the student support coordinator working in the school building, providing services. Active family and community engagement. A lot of times that can happen with after-school activities, with family engagement events. Expanded and enriched learning time, that could be 21st century after-school programs. One currently that we have now in Washington County. And then collaborative leadership and practices, that's just any time we can work alongside the school system to create any type of policies or procedures or leadership opportunities to help better the school district or the schools themselves. So the next slide I have in front of you, and I'm trying to go a little fast to save time because I want Kirsten to come up and talk to you a little bit about what the work looks like day to day, because Kirsten's in the school building doing the work and she has some really cool stories. So Kirsten, do you want to come on up and talk a little bit about the work in the school building? And I'll turn it over to you with the clicker if you need that for any reason.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Hi guys. Thank you all for having me here this evening. So as Chase said, my name is Kirsten Dillow. I have worked with communities and schools since 2021, but I also interned with them in 2019 to 2020 before the world shut down. So, but today I'm just going to share with you all some student stories from across Washington County that just provide a small look at how big of an impact CIS of AH has made on our communities and families here in Washington County, Virginia. These personal narratives not only highlight the resilience of students, but also the importance of community involvement. These stories highlight the success that comes from a one-on-one relationship, demonstrating how personalized support can make a lasting impact on our students. This first story that I'm going to share with you all today is a student that I have personally worked with, and this has just been recent here in this school year. So there was a student, she moved here from another state, and she is being raised by a single father, and upon arrival here in Washington County, they were homeless, and so dad was really struggling to make ends meet. And so within my role of CIS, I was able to immediately step in to make sure they had basic needs such as food, hygiene products, and clothing. I helped the father search for housing as well as sign the student up for after-school care with the Boys and Girls Club. During the first semester of school, the father was able to find a new job, and they were also able to find housing. And so because of that, the student moved, but only moved to another school within Washington County. So she didn't go too far, thankfully, but the student support coordinator at her new school had met this student once before while she was shadowing me. And so she kind of knew a little bit about this student situation, and she thankfully was able to pick up right where we left off with her at my school. So again, CIS was able to step in and make sure those needs were met. But just a fun story that I wanted to share with you all as a part of this. This student was very shy. She was not very trustworthy of new people, and especially adults. And so that was something that we'd really worked on. And so upon my work with her and our new coordinator working with her, she was able to start joining lunch social groups, and even entered in her new school's anti-drug poster contest. And so that night, they had a family engagement event where her dad attended the drug awareness family event, and she placed second place in the poster contest. And to make it even better, I think I was actually able to attend this event, which doesn't happen often, so I was very glad that I got to be there. And we were both very happy to see each other. But at school the next day, she made the comment to her new student support coordinator that Miss Dillow, is the first school person who actually helped me and my dad and made sure that we were okay. And then I'll just share one more quick story with you. This story just touches on how important it is for communities and schools to kind of be that safe space and that calm down space for so many of our students. And it gives them an opportunity to have that relationship with a one-on-one adult. So this specific student faced crippling anxiety that made it difficult for her to navigate her school day. There were moments when she felt overwhelmed to the point of leaving class and often checking out of school entirely. Recognizing her struggles, CIS introduced a dedicated support system within the school. She was provided access to a calm down space where she could retreat when anxious. This designated area was in the CIS coordinator's office. It provided a place with comforting resources, mindfulness tools, and a person to help understand her feelings. Over time, she began to feel more empowered and capable. Instead of leaving school in distress, she now utilizes the calm down space to regroup, allowing her to return to class refreshed and focused. And today, we are happy to say that she participates more actively in her classes and has formed connections with her peers. Her journey is just a testament to the positive impact of a supportive environment that CIS can provide. We are incredibly proud of her progress and are committed to continuing to fostering a community where this student can thrive. And I hope that these stories have illustrated the meaningful connections for you all tonight that CIS has fostered with students, highlighting the personal and academic support they receive. Through these experiences, it is clear how CIS of AH helps students navigate challenges, build confidence, and create lasting relationships that contribute to their success. Thank you all.
All right, so out of respect for time, we'll wrap it up. We had a few more slides, but I want to leave you with a couple notes that's not on the PowerPoint. So if you remember anything about tonight, remember relationships and remember empowering. You know, CIS serves a unique role in that we work alongside school districts inside the school building to empower educators, administrators, families, students, and we do that through building relationships and providing services. So it is through that is how we see kind of improvement at the student level, the family level, and at really the entire school level. So we appreciate the continued support from Washington County, the continued partnership, and we look forward to coming back in 10, 20 years or until we're no longer needed. So thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Board members, we'll start with Dr. Frederick. Any comments or questions?
No, I think it's always best when we can all get together and work together to help students meet their full potential. I appreciate the services that you all provide our students and their families because it takes a whole village to help raise our children.
I just have a couple things. First of all, thank you all for coming. Later on tonight during new business, I'm going to talk about this, but while you're here, want to, I think next month is mental health awareness, and it's so important. And, the study from EO, talks about that those students that have that sense of community are 2 times less likely to report considering suicide. And you all being there is that community, building that community. My one question was, do you know just generally of those 763 students, are you serving more elementary, middle, or high school? Is it pretty evenly divided?
So there were, that's really made up on the demographics of the school. There's always more elementary schools, lower, smaller middle schools and less high schools. So typically we aim to case manage 10% of the school's population. So if that's 500 students, we would case manage about 50. So I would say based on numbers, we are probably case managing more elementary students, and it goes up or it goes down. But it truly just depends on what the school needs. If they're seeing a big influx on absenteeism, then we're going to focus on that. If they're seeing a big need around mental health supports, we're going to focus on that. But it's truly based upon the population of the school.
Okay, great. Thank you all.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'd just like to say thank you for what y'all are doing within our school systems for our children and their immediate families. It's making a big impact in our area, for sure.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I've seen the work firsthand as an administrator in my school, and I really appreciate what your staff does, and they take those kids under their wing. It's like they're youngins, so that means a lot to me.
It makes it kind of hard to explain what we do to people. It's a little bit of everything. Thank you.
And thank you so much for coming, for sharing. I'm so glad that you did show the 10th anniversary video, because for me, that's when I first gained awareness about community in schools. Was my former high school principal and really good friend, George Brown, really saw the value and the need that Tazewell County schools needed to have a program like this in the Tazewell County school system. And he actually held a 5K road race as one of the first fundraisers for community in schools, and I participated. And then, he was the one that really connected me with you, and before I even became a school board member. And I know that I bugged Dr. Ratliff and Dr. Noe to death because I really saw the value and really knew that it would, especially coming out of COVID, our teachers were just overwhelmed with so much that was on their plate, that I knew that you guys could help with absenteeism and family engagement and student engagement. And also, I love that your approach is data driven, that students do perform at a much higher level if they have stability and consistency. And when I say stability, that means stability at home, having the resources and their hierarchy of needs met, and then also stability at school. And I just think that consistency and the examples you gave of just students knowing that there's at least one person that you find that believe in you, that student relationship that can really change the trajectory of a student's life. So it's really noble work that you guys do, and I'm really grateful for you.
Thank you. Thank you all. It's a pleasure.
I can't say thank you enough, because I have been very blessed to be a part of your all's organization in many, many ways. And I was also fortunate to hear the founder speak, and knowing where this program came from, his dream to where it is today is just phenomenal. So who I don't remember his name.
Bill Milligan.
Bill Milligan. It's just, he was outstanding. But I can't say thank you enough. From today, I think somebody went and bought a pair of shoes for a kid who just had two little shoes on. He stayed in class, but yet within 30 or 40 minutes, a pair of shoes was on his feet. So thank you all.
Thank you all. It was a pleasure. You need anything else? You know how to find me, Dr.
I know how to find you, Chase. Don't
I'll
you?
leave you with a
You
couple of these if you want to
can
pass
run,
those
but you
out.
can't hide.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you all. All right, 4.01, Dr. Perigin, if you would like to recognize our school board rep student population.
Best part of the meeting. Emma,
Yes.
glad to have you and Isabella with us tonight. Emma, we'll go ahead and, I can't see you, Isabella. I know there you are. Emma, why don't you go ahead and start and tell us what's going on at Holston High School.
Well, thank you guys for letting me speak tonight. We don't have too much going on right now, but things are picking up as we're getting close to the end of the school year. Our band went on their spring trip. They actually got back yesterday, so they had a lot of fun. We also had the state FBLA competition this past week, and we had 4 students place, so we're super proud of them. Our FFA participated in the area rally on Friday, and a bunch of our students did really well, and that's always fun for them to get to go and, show off their skills, whether it's, they have like livestock judging, vet science, then they also have public speaking, so there's something for everybody to do. Our band and chorus got superior ratings on their assessments, so with both of them getting superior, it qualifies the Holston's musical department for the WMEA Blue Ribbon Award. So that is really cool that we got to experience that. All of our spring sports are off to a great start. Our seniors actually have a trip tomorrow to Virginia Highlands. This is a great opportunity, and I'm so glad we get to do this because it allows us to, view the college, but also see what classes we need and how we are going to gives us a chance to see what it's going to be like in this next step. Our prom is coming up. That's always really fun. Everybody looks forward to that. We have our senior trip, and it begins on Thursday. And the Duke Marine Lab trip is coming up on the 15th, so everybody loves that trip. It happens twice a year, and it's super fun for everyone, but it's also very educational, and I think that's really good to get out of the school, but also be still learning something. And then we have our FFA banquet, which is on May 2nd, and our spring band concert that's on May the 4th. So we look forward to seeing you guys there if you would like to join us. And that's really all I have to talk about tonight, so thank you guys.
Emma, I'd hate to hear it if you had a lot going on.
I know.
That's a lot going on. And congratulations, that is a great honor for the band.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Isabella?
Well, hello everybody. Thank you all for letting us be here tonight. It's always a great pleasure to know that I get to look forward to this in the afternoon. As Dr. Perrigan recognized some of our fellow students at Patrick Henry, I'll say their names a few more times, but I'll try to be quick. We've had a lot of accomplishments just in the last few months, and it's really impressive, honestly. Dr. Duncan and me sat down at the beginning of the year and we talked about how our athletics is always pretty good at Patrick Henry, but this year we've seen an excellent improvement in our academics as well. And so it's really impressive to see that we're diverse all the way across the board and that we have an opportunity for everyone. And I know that's really special that we have those opportunities in Washington County and give those opportunities to the students. So let me touch just a little bit on our student accomplishments. Tyler Barrett tonight, he was the Class 1 state indoor shot put champion, and you can't say enough about Tyler. He's just an impressive kid all around. Our 10th grader, Will Duncan, finished third place in impromptu speech, and Grayson Pruitt also state champion in extemporaneous. Sophie Moore, she's a senior at Patrick Henry. She was the Black Forts chapter and regional DAR essay award winner. Our Rebel Regiment recently also had their state assessment and received a superior rating, as well as our Rebel Voices choir. And so all three of our Rebel Voices choirs received superior ratings. So that's a very impressive accomplishment. Our debate team advanced to the super regional competition at Jamestown this past weekend, and we had two sophomores, Zen Moser and Carter Withers, who won first place in public forum at the super regional competition, and they qualified for the state championship. And then Annabelle Finney was also recognized as an alternate in the Student Congress category, so we are very proud of our new debate team and all of their success so far. Friday was really busy for us at Patrick Henry. We had both our chorus concert, which was phenomenal, and the Judy Thomas track meet, and that is always just exceptional to see all of the athletes come. And it's impressive to see the Patrick Henry athletes as well. We had fantastic success. Our 4x4 state qualified. Tyler Barrett, of course, he was first place in disc and shot put, and he state qualified. Ben Hahn state qualified for pole vault and also placed first. So we're very proud of all of our athletes and our academics as well. We have some upcoming events, as Emma mentioned. Our seniors actually travel to VHCC tomorrow with Holston as well. Then we have our spring signing day, and we have three seniors, Tyler Barrett, Conrad Ellis, and Anna McKinney, who are signing to further their athletics and academics. And then on May 3rd, we have our annual senior parade, and we will recognize this year all of our district, regional, and state qualifiers in the parade as well. So we're really excited for that. We have prom on May 2nd and then senior awards on May 9th. So we're super excited for all that spring has to offer. And then finally, we would like to express our sincere appreciation to the maintenance department for their work on pressure washing pH. And we are also grateful for their assistance in setting up the softball batting cage and for painting the parking spaces in our newly paved lot that's behind the field house. So they did an excellent job, and we're really thankful.
Thank you.
Not much going on at Patrick Henry.
No,
places there.
So, Isabella, you're in the Teacher for Tomorrow class.
Yes, I am.
Y'all had a big event here recently, I think.
Yes, we did. So I actually didn't get to attend, but I heard a lot about it. So they actually went with Ray Valley, and they met them at Emory and Henry, and they took, I think it was 14 preschoolers. It was around that number, and they taught them all about crosswalks. And then they also got to play, Tennis or pick tennis, that's what it was. They got to play tennis. So the preschoolers had a really exciting day, and the teachers for tomorrow students had an even more exciting day.
They also got to see a softball game.
Yes, they did.
And let the kids, the Embry softball players, ran through as they high-fived.
Yes. So it was a really exciting day, and we were really excited to be a part of that. I think it was a great learning experience for our students as well.
Has that been a good class for you this year?
Yes, absolutely. We have really loved it. And they actually also went to EB last week or the week before as well, and they got to hang out with our special education classes as well. And so we've really learned about all different levels of education and got to get some hands-on experience. So we've really enjoyed that program.
Dr. Yost, I think those classes are filling up for next year too, aren't they?
All right, any comments?
We heard you all come through campus. I'm sure you did.
It was a lot of kids. I'm just curious, what is your theme for prom at both schools?
Ours is like Let Love Bloom, I'm pretty sure. We got the invitations today, actually, so we're really excited.
Ours is The Great Gatsby. So very elegant.
Nice. Cool.
Isabella, is teaching profession something that you're looking at?
Absolutely, yes. I'm actually going to UVA Wise next year and going into elementary education. So I graduate from Virginia Highlands on May 9th, and then we'll transfer.
Congratulations, and good choice.
Thank you.
Actually, I tried to talk her into going to Emory.
Yeah, say.
I think we probably should offer
Go
a
Cavs.
job now.
Yeah, that's good. Get the contracts ready.
NIL deal, yeah.
Those little preschoolers had T-shirts that had blue, white, and yellow that they had
sweet.
tie-dyed to Emory's colors. So, all right, hearing none, we've got Superintendent's Report 5.01, Dr. Perigin.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I'd just like to say, I don't know what we're going to do for the May board meeting, but this very possibly could be these ladies' last school board meeting as student reps. Kelly, we were talking about maybe inviting them all back and doing something. But anyway, guys, y'all have been phenomenal. You've set the bar high for all future student school board reps, the inaugural class. So, thank you. Y'all really have been awesome. I don't know how we'll find anybody as good as you guys. So thank you. Great job. All right. And then I'm going to put mine before theirs because they always have such good reports. So just an update on the budget since the last time that we met. The Board of Supervisors has provided an increase of $750,000 from their appropriation this current year into next. The state budget appears to be back on track after we had a little scare about the support cap not being fully removed. Now the only thing we're waiting for is for the governor to sign the budget. If the governor signs the budget, then we'll receive the amount that we shared earlier from the conference budget. That is $750,000 less than what we had built the budget on. However, there are plenty of capital items, and that would be what my recommendation is that we prioritize the capital items that are in that budget document, determine those, and then also just with the way the economy is starting to go and the market starting to turn around, just keeping an eye on the following year too. Any new positions or other positions, they may be a 1 year. And they may not be reoccurring, but we'll just hope for the best. But we'll start planning very early on dealing with hopefully what doesn't turn out to be, but could potentially be another recession or at least a dip in the economy. But we got our eye on that very closely. We have set some rain dates for graduation. Dr. Yost, thank you for working with our high schools on that. We do have all the regular dates separated so we can attend as many of those as possible. But when we start dealing with rain, we just can't keep those separated. So let's just pray for good weather on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But if it gets into the weekend, we may just have to divide and conquer for those events. I think everybody's aware that they are going to be doing a roundabout right down here below the central office. In order to do that, VDOT had to purchase some property from us. We've signed the final paperwork. We still have a little closing to go, but you ought to start seeing some construction work start to happen here pretty soon. and we're going to work very closely with VDOT to make sure that they're not, because, at 8 o'clock in the morning, 7:45 to 8:15 in the mornings, and 2:30 to 3:30 in the afternoons. It's a madhouse out here anyway, and you throw a roundabout construction into that. So we're hoping to work with VDOT to make sure that it has as little impact as possible. But we're working and planning on that very early on. In addition to the great and awesome students we recognize tonight, over this past weekend, we also had some new state champions, both in Skills USA and FBLA. We'll invite those students to recognize them at our May school board meeting. We have also been working, as you know, we had some remote learning days. We had some days that we were closed. And so all of our employees have some days that they didn't have the opportunity to work. Just wanted the board to know that we're working with them. I mean, there's a plethora of ways that we're working with those families. It may be that they're coming in and doing Medicaid billing. It could be that they're extending their work day on the front end or on the back end. It could be that they're working in other departments. We've got a summer school option coming up this summer that folks will be able to work on. Some of it is worked out that we're able to do some professional development, but really every job classification, there are opportunities for everybody to do their work as contracted and not lose any pay as a result of that. Just wanted to in case y'all get any questions of that. If you do have employees that happen to not get the memo, which we've sent several, but if you happen to have any employees that come to you, be sure you direct them to their building principal or any of our team here at Central Services, and we'll make sure that's the last thing that we want is for somebody to be hurt financially because of those schedule changes. But we also want to, we got to get some productive things done as well. I mean, just for bus drivers, for example, there was a lot of additional professional development that they had to do, and it just so happened that we were able to work it in on some of those days that we were able to work out. So just want to make sure the board was aware of that. And we've continued to have dialogue with Vosh in regards to the preliminary notice with the asbestos issue. We anticipate that we could have finality to that maybe as early as by the end of this week. So we'll continue to keep you updated on that. Madam Chair, that's all I have. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Hearing none, we'll go to 6.01, public comment. And we have Mr. Tom Music signed up. I think you're aware of the guidelines, so
Yes, ma'am, very aware, thank you.
we will let you speak. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you tonight. Really have a concern tonight as I sat down last night and went through the agenda. What really stood out is when I got down to the consent agenda, and the item that really stood out to me was file GCBDM, staff holiday, annual leave, vacation. I know I've been coming to the meetings pretty regular, and I didn't remember that particular policy coming to the board on first reading, and was very concerned about that. So I took some time and gave everyone the benefit of the doubt and went back through prior agendas, and there was no discussion about this particular policy. As I said, it's presented tonight under the consent agenda on second reading for final approval. I never, like I said, never did find out when it was approved on first reading. When you look at file BFC, which is policy adoption policy, this is the school board's policy. This is your policy. And it's very clear, said policy is a basic statement related to the conduct of the school division's business. Policies are subject to revision by the school board utilizing the following procedures. Number 1, receipt of draft policy for consideration. Number 2, proposed policy is considered on first reading and action is taken to approve and distribute the proposed policy for further input. Number 3, policy is approved on second reading, which at that time goes into effect unless otherwise indicated. Now, I'm not discussing the policy. I'm not saying I'm for the policy or against the policy. I am concerned that you have the potential to push a policy through that you didn't follow your own procedures that were put in place. And that's a concern that I have. I think transparency and public trust are very crucial to the relationship with the public and the school board. Like I said, I'm not debating the policy one way or another, and you still have an opportunity. You still have the consent agenda before you, and I just hope that you will do the right thing and follow your own procedure. Thank you.
Thank you. Now to consent agenda
Madam Chair.
7.01.
Madam Chair, I'd like to pull file GCBDM from that block, please.
Okay. Do we have a motion to consent agenda 7.01, 7.02, 7.04, and 7.05 through 7.09? That would pull the one out. The others would be.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Did you get that, Ms. Kelly? Yes. All in favor or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. At this time, we will go back to 7.03, file number GCBDM, staff holidays.
I'll take the lead on that.
Okay.
There's no rush for that. We can always move it to the next board meeting and discuss it further.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion that we move it to the next board meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? All right, thank you. We are now to first reading policy for consideration, 8.01 through 8.11. Do I have a motion to look at those as a group? Approve as a group?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve item 8.01, 8.11, first reading.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there a discussion with any of those? Hearing none, all of those in favor, raise your right hand. All approved. Okay. Action item number 9.01, Dr. Perigin, request for fiscal year 25 state funding budget.
Madam Chair, members of the board, this is not a request for any additional money, but when we receive additional funding above 1% of the total budget, we have to get a reappropriation from the Board of Supervisors. Because in the current budget, there is money for a $1,000 bonus for SOQ funded positions that was not there initially. Because we took students from outside of the division, we had an increase of about 500 students enrollment. And we also have an increase in our actual enrollment from our budgeted enrollment of about 100 students. When you combine all of those things together, it puts us over that threshold. And so we have to ask the Board of Supervisors to appropriate that and they will also have to do a public hearing for that. So in order for them to have time to get all that taken care of by the time the bonuses go out, we're asking for the board's approval for that tonight.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
Mr. Henderson, Mr. Wilson, second. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all of those in favor, your right hand. All approved. Okay, we're now to new business. All right, who would have some new business? Ms. Rastick.
So it's been weighing really heavy on my heart about our youth and the mental health and suicide rates and things throughout Southwest Virginia. And when this kind of came up on my heart, at the time I did not realize until our consent agenda that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So I'm on the board for the Washington County Prevention Coalition. Sorry, I have notes really fast. And they surveyed the stakeholders that are on that coalition, and they asked the stakeholders, what is the most concerning issue facing someone under 18 in your community? That's right here in Washington County. the number one thing was mental health and suicide. So I also gave you all EO. This is from 2024. This is live data that you can get from EO's website. This is from 2024. It's youth mental health throughout Southwest Virginia, showing that 1 in 4 children, 1 in 4 students report harming themselves at some point throughout Southwest Virginia. Washington County Schools participated in this, so we do have data specifically for Washington County, and the new report will come out in May. But I wanted to give you this to say that I think CIS was a great starting point tonight to showcase what they're doing. And for my news business, I would like to request that Highlands Community Service comes in May and presents on all the great things they are doing within our schools to address student mental health. They have safe talk webinars and sessions that staff can participate in case we want to be proactive. We pray that nothing would ever happen, but our youth are facing a lot, and the data shows it. And I think we're already doing a lot of great things, and we'd just like to showcase that in May.
Right.
We can make that happen, and we'll, if it pleases the board, we'll ask Ms. Smith to come back and provide an update about what we're doing internally as well.
That's fantastic. Okay, any other new business? Hearing none. We're now to 11.01 old business.
Nothing to report. It's empty. It's empty.
Okay.
We still have some things that are lingering, but there's nothing to report on those.
All right. Update by board. Let's start with Mr. Brandon.
Good. See, you started with me because you thought I wasn't going to say anything. This time. I just have a brief report. I most recently met with a prominent person when used to live in the community, was a business person within the community, and everybody's prominent. There shouldn't be any distinguishing characteristics there. But his name was Sonny Porterfield. His wife, Alice Porterfield, was in the midst of writing a children's book. And her wish was that not only could she read it to her grandchildren, but that she could come to schools on Read Across America Day and things like that and read this publication. It's called BFFs, The Adventures of Miss Priss, Maddie, and Sally. So it's an interesting story that, he wants to be invited next year to try to come in her stead, in passing away and not being able to ever read this book to children in Washington County Public Schools. I've asked the superintendent for me to provide copies to him and to Dr. King for them to review the book to make sure that it fits appropriateness to be in our elementary school libraries. And it's a story and photography and celebrating all the BFFs that you have in your life. Now, one interesting thing when you look at it, I did ask the question on the back, there's a boat. And it looks like it's going downstream, but it's sitting still. And I said, how did you get that done? And I said, did you dam the water or what did you do? And he said, no. Alice stood there with me with a piece of fishing twine on one side of the picture and Betsy, his daughter, on the other side. And they're actually, you can't see it in the picture, they're actually holding that boat in place to where it comes from there. So the only thing I'm doing, like I said, is representing him and his family. He now lives in Richmond or somewhere up the road and could not be here. But to just fulfill, I guess, a dying person's dream of being able to write something that would connect with kids and be able to do that. And she dedicates it to her granddaughters, and grandkids in the back of the book. So, again, this is not something I'm pushing. It's just something that was presented to me and the superintendent, and then we would allow them to review it, Dr. King, to make sure it's appropriate for our libraries, which I feel pretty confident it will be, but we do have to watch for those types of things. You can see it has lots of pictures, it has lots of stories, about BFFs, about how they make you feel. It is such a beautiful, sunshiny day today that we decided to go outside to play. As we go back and forth in the garden, swing beneath the trees and beneath the vines, we make up a funny story. They just got sillier and sillier and thought so hard and laughed so hard, we almost fell out of the swing. So I really feel pretty confident. It's a good children's book, okay, we're reading that excerpt. But just want to do that in honor of Alice and at the request of her husband, Sonny Porterfield, to donate these to the Washington County Schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Henderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Dr. Brandon and I also attended the 150th birthday celebration of Glade Spring a few Saturdays ago. They had a real nice birthday cake. They had music in the farmer's market there. And Dr. Brandon forgot to tell me it's a little chilly in that farmer's market, but we were fine. He had his coat on, I didn't. But anyway, so, we got up there, and there's a great number of older adults, which I guess Dr. Brandon and I are part of that too. So we were there, and a lot of memories made. And looking back, my father-in-law was vice mayor of Glade Spring at one time, and there were different things out on the tables, different pictures. And my mother-in-law, matter of fact, she had, I guess, election night. If you had the most votes on the town council, you and you weren't running for mayor, of course, you were appointed the vice mayor. And she had written down all the names and had my father-in-law's nickname was Doocher. She had Doocher out here, and he had 318 votes. She was vice mayor and checked it real big. I thought that was pretty cool. They had that up there. And then we saw pictures of the former firefighters on the Glade Fire Department, things of that nature. And then one other, forgive me, Dr. Brandon, do you remember those two young ladies' names that wrote the essays about the town of Glade?
Glade Middle School.
They were Glade Middle School students, and they won the essay contest. I'm sorry, young ladies, I forgot your name, but they read their essays, and it was real nice. And but it was a great time had by all. I also got to go to the E.B. Stanley, and I visited their special ed class in the gym the other day, and we had a big-eyed time in there playing and things. So looking forward to proms and graduations and prom promise and project graduations and all that good stuff. So let's all be careful out there during this time. Don't go out here and do anything crazy. So let's think about our kids, and I think we got smart enough youngins in these schools that they won't do anything that's what you shouldn't be doing. So thank y'all.
Right. Well, I do have one announcement that I know High Point Elementary School on April 10th at 6 p.m. is going to have its patriotic program. I'm so happy to see that continues on every single year. I first attended that when my children are in school, and it's one of my favorites to get to attend. And I feel like Cindy Jackson probably reached out to everyone, but definitely everyone is invited. So if you can at all, please attend. You won't regret it. And last week, I was able to attend the GoTech open house at Wallace Middle School, and it was really well done. We had students there showing all the different just technologies that they're able to use in the lab and how to use all the equipment. There's a welding simulator, there's a laser cutter, 3D printer. And really, I was just so impressed by their skill, but also it was so great to, again, be on a board of a school division that sees the benefit in investing in STEM and STEAM and experiential learning for our kids. It's really been, as Sandra's mentioned, very busy spring with all the spring sports with soccer, tennis, track, softball, baseball. And before you know it, we're going to have all the end of the year programs and graduation and awards. And I'm really looking forward to that, to be able to celebrate our students. And lastly, I've been trying to increase my knowledge anywhere that I think that I have holes. And I actually just came back this evening from the Hunt State Policy Fellows that it focuses on education policy. It's through Duke University. And I was fortunate enough to be able to join this program through a scholarship, so it was at no cost. But and it's a cohort of local elected officials all across Southwest Virginia, and I was able to be one of the Southwest Virginia representatives. But I got to learn about early childhood education, because definitely I had awareness that, we have VPI, Head Start, but now I definitely have a much greater appreciation for our dual enrollment program that we have at EO that we have, because definitely attracting and retaining staff, that is a huge issue for preschool programs, and definitely just learning about all the different programs that we have here in Washington County, our mixed delivery programs and our child care centers, and really truly like how we need more subsidies and we need more slots. And I haven't definitely thought of you so much, Crystal, while I was there, because this is literally your life experience. Yep. And so looking forward to having conversations with you about all that I've learned. But I'm just really grateful for that opportunity. And because definitely, as I said, I had awareness of it, but it's been really nice to be able to dive deeper, especially things in the Virginia Code and too, that we definitely will need. We need increases in the state budget to fund early childhood care, because I really think that as far as kindergarten readiness, that will translate to higher school success if those investments are made. That's it.
Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, a few things. FBLA just got back from John Bell and the whole county from D.C. over the week, and we had a lot of state champions from John Bell as well. Congratulations to them. FFA took a whole bus to Withfield from John Battle and Wallace, and had a really good time, and I think they had some winners there as well. Today I got to do something that I truly enjoy as being part of this board and within the school system. I went to High Point Elementary this morning and talked to first graders about what I do for a living, about agriculture and being a beef cattle producer. And there's a pile of little first graders in there, and I tell you, the questions were amazing. They were in tune, and they're learning all about the different sectors of agriculture within our county, from dairy to beef to poultry to gardens to equine, the whole 9 yards. So it was really a treat for me to get to tell them what I do for a living. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Rasmussen.
Ms. Nichols, I was grinning ear to ear because you were speaking my language. So, just a few things. I was able to attend, High Point had a family engagement event hosted by CSI at EO, and I was able to attend that, and the turnout was amazing. We had to bring out more chairs. So it was just really neat to see the High Point families, coming up to Abingdon for that. And the topic was on internet safety and stuff. And if you have children who are on any platform of social media, especially Snapchat, you need to hear that presentation because it was very eye-opening. But that was a great turnout. Like Ms. Nichols said, I was also able to go to Wallace to see their GoTech lab there at their school. And I think Mr. Yost has had some practice because he was really good on that stuff. I was able to attend Greendale's celebration of their ESEA award. I don't know if those kids knew what was happening. I think they did, but they were excited. They were very excited. It was a great time. They really enjoyed it, and just been able to catch a lot of baseball.
So I talked to Ms. Cumbo at Abingdon High, and students are just not in the building because they're at FBLA. The chorus is up in New York City. The band's going to Orlando. But also they've had students at Greendale Elementary helping with the fun run, and also at Watauga Elementary helping with their March Madness reading celebration, which went really well. At EB Stanley, this week they have a lot going on, but there's a tailgating for the softball team on this Thursday, and then Friday's the law enforcement luncheon. I did join Dr. Williams and Mr. Lambert and some others for lunch duty at EB Stanley, and it brought back a lot of old memories, cleaning tables, but also enjoyed talking with some of the students and seeing them as well. At Watauga, they've had STEM night, Dirts and Donuts this weekend, where they're going to do some cleanup around the school grounds. And then April 17th is kindergarten play. It has something to do with pajamas. It's bound to be very interesting. And then also congratulations to the DAR award winners. In 4th grade it was Andy Brown. In 5th grade it was Russell Lambert. So a lot going on. Senior pictures are April 25th at Abingdon for the group photo and cap and gown. So that time of year is upon us.
Okay. Emma took about 4 of mine. But want to remind everybody that all of the elementary schools have completed their history bowl. And next week will be the countywide. So I called today, and so they said to let them know if you're planning on coming, please. Greendale was wonderful excitement to see, but I think the biggest excitement was for them to see their school resource officer who had been gone come back in that building. And then got to participate with the spring fling at Ray Valley. And then I just want to share something. You know, the flood was back in September. And this week, it is like it's come full circle, because the first home that I visited was in Conorock, and there was this little child who we took her last diapers to. And that's when the next day I was told I couldn't have diapers. But that mama sent me a picture this week. The flood money that we have been given, that we control and do, was she needed a new washer and dryer and a new refrigerator because the flood water had got into the electronics and had destroyed all of those things. And so she sent me a picture and of her holding that little girl and using her new washer and dryer. Now, she was one of my former students, but just to know, and she said, thank you all for making a difference. So for all of those organizations and all of the people that gave money and were still using that, it's greatly appreciated. To my knowledge, all of the homes have been placed back into Settlers Point. They're no longer living in a motel. But we have 2 homes, that the trailer in Ralph Smith's trailer court that was flooded and destroyed. 2 of the older ladies, they have found acreage, and they're going to be building houses next door to each other. And they've asked the Amish people who will be building it to put their kitchen windows facing so that they can make sure that they're able to check on each other. So thank you again for making and looking at what Damascus area needs. All right. Hearing none, do I have a motion after 5 minutes to go into closed session?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that the board convene in closed session after a 5-minute break for the purpose of discussing the following matters as authorized by Section 2.2-3711A of the Code of Virginia. Section 2.2-3711A2, request for release from compulsory school attendance and religious exemption. 2024 to 2025 cases number 24 through 27. Section 2.2-3711A1, discuss performance of specific individuals, consider employment of specific individuals, consider transfer of specific individuals, consider resignation of specific individuals, consider retirement of specific individuals, and consider specific individuals with non-teaching assignments to receive coaching supplement only and subject to 1, VHSL approval, and 2, within number of positions approved for coaching.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor, right hand. Madam Clerk, 7-0. Miss Stanley.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. I got my 10 books.